Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom, this is Sean, and on today's episode, we're going to be reviewing and discussing The Flash. But before we do that, do us a favor, guys, leave a like right now, subscribe down below, follow us on TikTok and Instagram, links are on the screen and down below.
Spoilers.
Look at that.
Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth, because Sean is an African-American.
Yeah, Thomas, be nice to me all day today.
I don't, actually. I didn't work today, so in a way, that's
exactly.
nice.
This is my gift to me.
It's my gift to you. I was like, I'll call off. Let a brother work,
You don't need the white man's help.
Alrighty, guys. Since it is Juneteenth, usually since you're in the back of the bus, you can go first today.
I like Flash a lot. I really enjoyed the movie. Me and Tom actually went and saw it together. It was really longer than I thought it was going to be, and I thought the movie flowed really well. I didn't find myself bored at all during it.
The pacing was well done, I will say that.
Yeah, and I just thought it got into it. It's not doing that well. What did it do? 55 million opening weekend?
Yeah.
Something like that, which is awful.
No, they did. I think it was like close to 100, but like I didn't look it up, but they kept saying it was like $350 million under to what they estimated for the opening weekend.
Under? They expected to do 400 on the opening weekend?
I think so, yeah.
That doesn't make sense, no. Because like
or make back
the
money.
Batman did like 100 or like 125 or something. There's no way they thought it was going to be bigger than that.
Maybe their budget. No.
Yeah, maybe they were 350 under budget or something.
Yeah, it was under budget. Yeah.
I think for this movie, the DC stink, them basically rebooting and saying like nothing that happens in this movie matters, basically, except for how they end it.
Even then,
we'll
have a discussion about that. Yeah.
And Ezra Miller being just a freaking menace.
Yeah.
Really shot this movie in the foot because I think it was really good, and I think a lot of people are going to miss out on a good movie because they're like boycotting Ezra Miller or boycotting the new DC or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that hurt. I thought it was a really good movie. I thought both the Flashes were funny interacting.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton obviously stole the show. I didn't mind the new Supergirl. Usually they do Supergirl really corny in a way that I hate. Some like pretty blonde who's like, I'm the most powerful person here, and they didn't do that. So all in all, like I said, I really like the movie. I plan on seeing it again.
I do want to see. I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters or not.
I don't know if I'll see it in theaters again. Probably not.
Yeah, when it comes out on HBO Max or Max now, I'll definitely watch it again.
I just got that again.
But yeah, no, this movie I'm very mixed on it. The points that Sean said, I agree wholeheartedly. The pacing was really well done. How long was it? 2.5 hours?
I think it was a little more than that. I think it was like 250, 240.
I think it was 2. I don't think it was 250.
Okay,
maybe
240.
230, 240. But yeah, the pacing was really well done. I do agree with that. There was really no filler. It was simple in the sense of like they didn't overcomplicate anything.
Yeah.
Like you can easily, especially with like the multiverse thing, you can always overcomplicate by writing it. And sorry, I just realized Sean ordered 2 pizzas today. By the way, I was looking as I'm telling you, I just realized you have 2 pizzas
it's
here.
not for me. That's my pizza. That was their pizza.
Yeah, sure it is. But no, there was a lot of stuff I did not like. Or I have a lot of questions. The biggest part was I know it's been one of the big talking points, minus the Ezra Miller controversies, the whole CGI thing. Andy Muschietti, I think I say his last name, but Andy, the director of the movie, he said that was intentional, but because it's intentional because we're seeing it through Flash's point of view, how it looked all weird and wonky, but it didn't look weird or wonky. It just looked unfinished for all of the scenes when it was in slow-mo. And we've already seen Flash in his perspective in the Snyder Cut. Or maybe in the actual Justice League movie too, when we saw him meet Iris.
Superman.
No, he's that one too, yeah. That part, and then also when he saw Iris, remember? It was like that crash scene.
Oh, yeah.
And then actually at the end, too, when in the Snyder Cut when he ran and we saw it. I don't know if that was actually slow-mo or not, but...
Yeah, but he was like, that time he was like running faster than he's ever ran before.
So, yeah. But no, I'll use the Iris point and that Superman point, too. Those 2 points we saw in his perspective, and it was very clear as day, stuff like that. And I was like...
And to fairness, I think that was from his and Superman's perspective. So maybe the world doesn't move that slow for Superman. So I don't know about that. And again,
the Iris thing. That's why I'm
saying. Iris thing. Yeah. I thought the CGI looked bad. I didn't like the Chrono Bowl or whatever. I thought that was kind of
weird. It was lazy.
It was weird. Yeah, I think lazy is the word. I just felt like they could have done
the show does a better job.
Yeah, when he's like, yeah, exactly, like where it's like pop ups when he's run. Like I don't know why they couldn't have did that.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know. That, so I didn't like that. While he's moving in slow mo, I don't mind that too much. I do.
The babies look weird.
But the babies, the CGI, that part it was just really CGI. Yeah. But I didn't think it looked bad. It's fine. Like. In the director's defense, like, wouldn't it look weird if you were moving at the speed?
Yeah, I just felt like it was an excuse. So that's how I took it. I was like, we'll say the Chrono Bowl is valid, right? Maybe that was his plan. But, like, the baby part, and, like, we saw a human adult, like, it just looked unfinished. And they did reshoots. They, like, delayed the movie several times. Like, you couldn't finish the CGI. We've never seen,
like, even in the show Flash, he never did nothing like that, though.
No, I know, but that's why
they usually, like, they don't really do a lot of scenes where, like, he's like actually feel like you don't see him doing the stuff.
No, yeah, I agree. But I was saying like that's why I brought up the Iris West shot in the Snyder Cut because we saw it, and they could have said just because of time reasons. But even then, this movie had such a huge budget twice over.
I would just guess somebody else just did the first one, and then they had like it's been like a long time. They got like a whole new team, and they were like, make it look this way. So they were like, oh well, if they didn't like that, so we got to do something different.
Yeah,
is my guess. Is like. They were like, okay, this is how the Flash used to look. Everyone hates the Snyderverse now, so we have to do it different.
Yeah. Do you think that was like an intentional thing though to make it look that weird?
Yeah, like, I do. I don't think it was. I don't think it was like, oh, we're gonna cut the budget here. Is what I'm saying. Like, I do agree it wasn't the best CGI. No. I don't think it was like, oh, we're just gonna be lazy and not spend any money. I just think like they thought it looked like cool or whatever.
I don't know. I think it just it fell flat for me because also like you said the Superman and Flash they see in their perspective. We saw other Supermen like in the cameo and they were all weird CGI. So when they
but they also just gotten there. They don't know how to use their powers. Like they haven't been like Superman is like born in that like. The Kryptonians, they get stronger as they absorb the sun. That's why Superman's so strong because he's been there.
Not Kara. I'm talking about at the end when it showed like Nick Cage, the OG.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I guess I don't know about that. I don't
know.
Were they going fast? That was the universe's clock. I don't know. They were just going slow because we could see it. Like
I don't know. That's
for
what
the
I'm saying.
camera.
It just felt like maybe it was intentional, but like the idea just felt.
It was bad. I would just say like they purposely did it, and like they probably spent as much money as anybody spent on CGI. They just didn't come out. Like, it wasn't well received. But I thought when he's running, it's always corny when he's doing the weird like.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So like. I love they made fun of that though when like he doesn't have his powers and he's trying to run and he's doing it in the bank. Yeah, he's like just running around like what the hell is going on?
Yeah, this was I will say though it was a good movie. Like that was my biggest qualm was the CGI. That's been a lot of people's stuff on social media, and I think that's also played a part in the box office. Is because another addition is like the second the movie came out. After we saw it, all I kept hearing about the CGI on Twitter a lot too and stuff like that, TikTok as well. So I definitely played a part.
But I just think people wanted to hate the movie too.
I do agree,
so
yes.
they found, anything loose thread for them to tug on, they were going to.
Yeah, they did. I'm looking through my notes here. I do want to mention the Keaton Batman. This is giving me a lot of hope in general. I think I'll say Batman v Superman since we saw that scene with Batfleck when he was in the warehouse. I think it really established everyone when they do a Batman scene, it's okay for him to move. I say comically because like yes, Batman's a human being, but he's from the comics.
Yes,
you can move him. He's a ninja. So
yeah,
and we saw that a little bit in the Batman towards the end, especially with the Riddler fight, and then we saw this in Keaton. Like he's a 60-something-year-old man, but he's Batman. So like they played into it, and I'm very excited for any Batman future. I think we're finally turning the page of we don't have to do the Bale way of very sticky and like not sticky but
making it realistic where like you see the whole fight. Like Keaton was awesome. It was big fan service too, but like he was using his gadgets. They were cutting where like he'd pop up out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Things like that. He was blocking bullets with his cape.
Right.
I think they did a great job with Keaton. I think he really saved the movie because I think everyone would have really just hated it if somebody like him wasn't in it.
Yeah, it was very fun. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, he was funny. It was cool to see him again. To hear that like he had basically saved Gotham and it was perfect now. Like so they didn't need him anymore. Then there was no Superman on their world and things like that. I like the multiverse. They mixed a few of the stories together in that one. They did it's like Flashpoint, Batverse, and the Red Sun, I would guess, put together. Because in the original Flashpoint, the United States has Superman down underground, and in this one, it's the Russians, and it's Kara and it's the Russians.
Okay.
And in the original Flashpoint, it's Superman and it's in the United States, and in the Red Sun, it's Russia, and they don't have him trapped underground. It works for them.
Yeah. Okay. And then a biggest part too is Thomas Wayne was Batman as well.
Yeah, to say that too. Yeah, Thomas. That was my one big thing I didn't like, because I like Keaton, and I thought it would have still paid homage to Keaton if he would have played Thomas Wayne in a universe where he was the Batman. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? He looks like him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he had. I thought it would have been cool if it was Thomas, because then he could have, like in the movies, brought a letter back to Batman from his son or from Thomas. And things like that. Or it was the other way around. I think Batman gave him a letter. I forgot. Thomas gave a letter, that he gives back to him. So I think they missed a beat there, where they could have still had Keaton. He could have still been Batman. Yeah. It would have still like tugged on their heartstrings, and then it still paid homage to the original story and him be Thomas Wayne.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. It was. I'll kind of combat it. It wasn't too big of a deal.
No, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't
at
all.
Been a cool
Keaton was cool. Yeah. I thought they had a perfect old guy to play Batman, where it could have been Thomas Wayne and it would still been cool. Like, they wouldn't have had to make a new character up, like bring somebody in new. We all would have been like, oh shit, it's Batman in the Batman suit. So I thought that they missed a
step.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they just missed. They could have a chance to be completely all continuity.
Yeah. Another thing I want to bring up is, should we get in? We're about 15 minutes in. Should we talk about the ending? You want to get into that? All right. So the ending I had to sit with. Sean, like Sean said earlier, we saw it together. Initially, I was just pissed. Not genuinely pissed, but I was just so flabbergasted. I did not know how to respond to
the Clooney ending.
Yeah, okay. The Clooney ending. I was very confused with that, but I sat with it more and I gave it some thought. And I have a lot of questions, but the way I took away from it was the two endings we saw was Clooney and then Aquaman afterwards, being a drunken fool, and then Clooney. And we've seen this past year, Clooney's been asked, "Oh, you playing Batman?" He's been joking, "I ruined the franchise." So all I think it was no more than a Ralph Boner Marvel joke. I think that's what it was. I'm taking away with that, and I think I want to know, what did James Gunn come in and reshoot? Was it that scene or
Well, in the original, I heard the original scene. I think it is that scene, because the original scene was supposed to be Kara coming down.
Oh, okay.
They show that in the trailer, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Kara comes down outside of the courthouse. That's in the trailer, but it's not in the movie at all. Okay. And I realized that too. I realized now, because somebody else pointed out to me. I didn't realize it. I'm not that smart, but
yeah, we know.
Kara comes down, and Bruce is there too. And I think it's supposed to be No, it's supposed to be Keaton. They believe it was initially supposed to be Keaton and Kara coming down to meet Barry outside of the thing.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because they did say that was going to be the official Batman and Superman moving forward before James Gunn took over. I remember that. Yeah. So that makes sense.
And Henry Cavill was supposed to have he had a scene taken out too.
Oh, he did.
An end scene. I believe he had an end credit scene that they took out as well.
That's good. Just because imagine if he was.
Yeah, they took that out. Yeah, they took the Henry Cavill cut scene or the end scene out. They took the car showing up thing and Keaton, and they added Clooney for whatever reason. I think, like you said, it's a joke, because I did some research that that's not that universe is dead now too.
That's what I.
Whatever universe it goes to is going to be a completely new one with a new Barry, with a new everybody, and they might say something about that one, oh, you know what I mean, this changed, or you know what I mean. But I think whatever we see, that's why they were showing Aquaman was a drunk, because he's not a drunk anymore. They were basically showing things of that nature, I guess. And maybe, just maybe, if people this movie does good on the back end or on HBO Max, they can always do Crisis on Infinite Earth and use all those people again.
That scene, it looked like in general that's what he was setting it up.
That's what I said that earlier, that I think that people love Henry Cavill, so I think at some point we will see him again.
Yeah.
And I think they'll do a Crisis on Infinite Earth.
I think we'll see. He'll be in. He's not coming back for officially, but he'll definitely do a cameo.
Yeah, because I don't think they'll do Injustice. I just don't think they're set up to do Injustice. They would have to do
Crisis sounds, especially how Flash.
Because they've already done some multiverse stuff too. So I think
it's set up well.
Yeah, I think it's got to either be Darkseid when he first comes, or some Crisis on Infinite Earth stuff.
Some questions I got. Also to add on. So James Gunn did say, you actually watched the podcast with Michael Rosenberg.
Mm-hmm.
He did mention that someone from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be in Superman, the
Mm-hmm.
Superman Legacy. But I don't, did he say someone's playing Lex Luthor, or was it?
No, he did.
He just said he
made it. He was being extremely vague because Michael Rosenbaum played Lex.
Yeah.
The best Lex, in my opinion. Smallville's my favorite show. But even James Gunn says that Michael Rosenbaum is the best Lex. He played the best Lex because Michael Rosenbaum said he asked him like, just do me a favor, whoever plays Lex, make sure they have some like gravitas. Like, you know, he didn't say like him, but like him, like a billionaire playboy who was also a genius.
Clip,
and James Gunn's like, I never said there was going to be a Lex, and like, and then Mike Rose, I'm like, come on, it's Superman. There's got to be a Lex. He's like, I'm not saying there's not a Lex in the universe. I'm just saying there might not be a Lex in this movie.
Yeah.
So he doesn't say anything about.
Oh, okay.
So I don't, you know, it's probably be like somebody's playing Clark's mom. It's not. I bet you it's nobody crazy. I bet you it's like his mom or Lois, or not Lois. He also said a lot of leaks came out aren't the one. We did a video on it, but he said that might not be true. But who knows? I don't know. He could be a smokescreen.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's the best way to do it. But yeah. No, I didn't think it was anyone major because he always puts his brother Sean Gunn in it, so Sean Gunn could play a side character. You know what I mean?
Like I said, I bet you it's like the dude who took over for
because Michael,
the guy who whistles, who got the dudes.
Oh, Michael Rooker.
Yeah. Like him.
Sean Gunn's the guy who took over.
Oh, that's his brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, him. I bet you it's like him or something.
Saying,
That's how I would guess it's him then.
Yeah, no, because Michael Rosenberg,
Rosenbaum
was in Volume 3.
Yeah, I remember. He's a weird alien though, right?
He's all CG'd and stuff.
He's great, Lex. He was amazing. It would be crazy to have him in it. Like,
I think
he made the Smallville show. Like, obviously Tom Welling to me is iconic, but he barely talks in the show. He's just like being Superman, doing Superman stuff, and says like one-liners. Like, the show is awesome because Lex is like this crazy, engaging character who's like going crazy because he knows Clark has powers, and him and Clark are like best friends, and Clark won't tell him, and he's like going psycho. So like that's the gist of it.
So I have this question for you. Like I said, this movie left me with a lot of questions. One of those questions was, so we saw Keaton die, and he never came back, and same thing with Kara. We never, we left that universe with them just dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like they made a point to saying this Kara and obviously Michael Keaton are dead. Michael Keaton's out of it's just a one-time thing unless he comes back for multiverse for sake of whatever, for a cameo. But so are we gonna get cast a new Kara? That is my question, because James Gunn, like we said, did reshoots, and you just mentioned that she was coming down. I already had this question, but now with that scene taken out, are we getting a new Kara cast?
I don't think we'll get a new Kara. I think it'll be the same one because a lot of the people were the same. Like Zod was the same.
Yeah.
So in theory, if they're
Ezra
in a different universe, Kara is going to look. Yeah, all Ezra's friends are the same. He lived in the same apartment. Aquaman was the same.
Yeah.
So in theory, I'm guessing Kara would be the same person.
Okay. I thought so,
and
too.
she just might like be nicer because she wasn't captured for 20 years in a bunker or whatever.
Well, I don't know, because I want to read it because it sounded really good, but they stocked up Superman Legacy at the comic book store, but not the Woman of Tomorrow, the Supergirl story they're basing off of. But that's like a pretty dark. It's kind of like similar to this one, pretty darker. She was just been, well, instead of being like trapped by Russian, she's just been fighting in space for all these years, like trying to
get to Earth, like she got knocked off course or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that story. Even in the original, they just like go through a black hole, and he shows up earlier than she does, but like time's all messed up, and he's a grown man when she shows up, thinking that he's gonna be a baby.
Yeah. Looking through my notes here, Keaton. I've said all that. These were my questions.
How'd you like Ezra Miller in it?
I liked it. I never had an issue with him Flash.
No, I know. Yeah, I don't have an issue with Ezra.
No,
I thought
him
he did,
as Flash. Yeah, he was really good.
I thought he did. He was funny when he was doing both characters. Like young Barry and older Barry were funny. It was cool. The younger Barry didn't run like a weirdo either. He ran normal. I really think I don't like this, even though I don't really like Ezra Miller, or I won't say I don't like the non-binary or whatever. I just don't subscribe to that. I thought people were like, they pick and choose who they're gonna boycott. Like, oh, Ezra Miller committed a bunch of misdemeanors, and we're not gonna watch a Flash movie. But it's like, I don't like. How are people deciding that? It's like, yeah, it was bad. He's a jerk. He's a prick. But like, the people who like produce the movies are pricks,
Yeah.
like who are in lawsuits and been sued like all year round,
They're
all
probably
year.
getting sued right now.
Yeah, like
right?
and like fucking people over, all types of stuff. You're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But Ezra Miller gets into a fight at a grocery store or whatever. I forgot what he did. Like, but it's like you're like, no, I'm not watching this movie anymore.
Yeah, I
It's
will
like,
say, like, we're not saying it's okay to do that to clarify, but like the point being is like he was off one too. It looked like he was either on something or off his meds. Like that's the way he was acting. Like the videos that came out, it just didn't look like he was.
and well, also too, it's just not his movie.
Yeah.
Like it's.
That's a
He's
good
like
point.
he's already messed up. Like no matter how good that movie did, even if everybody went out and supported it, he's gonna have a hard time finding jobs
Yeah,
moving forward.
yeah,
And so you're affecting like the girl with Cara, Michael Keaton, the director, all
Yeah,
these people.
affecting
Like,
Michael Keaton.
oh, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like these people in the movie, where it's like you're messing them up. They get paid if the movie does well too, and it's like you're not
see
going.
He came to the premiere.
Who, Michael Keaton?
Ezra Miller.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Was he not supposed to?
Oh, it was like he hasn't been out
Oh,
since.
well, I'm glad he did because, no, like I said, he was being a knucklehead, and I'm not condoning anything
Yeah.
he did. He was being idiotic, but it's like he's just a young man. Like, obviously, he deserves a second chance. Everybody
Yeah.
does, and it's like I think that all that stuff ruined the movie, and it wasn't even like he didn't like do anything racist. He like got into a fight with someone, right?
Yeah,
or
he
like
just
he was
kept,
being
like-
violent.
Yeah,
or,
he was being very aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, but so it's like again, I'm not condoning it, but I think a lot like if he had never done all that, I think this movie would have did 100 million
I agree.
opening weekend.
1,000%.
And it's like people are just so fickle that they point and say, "Hey, you're not supposed to like that guy,"
Yeah.
and you don't, and it's stupid because, like I said, I don't necessarily like Ezra Miller. It wasn't my pick, but I didn't see the reason to not go see this movie because of him.
You know what I wish they kind of did more was kind of play into his science a little more. I feel like they did, but
Yeah, they
didn't.
made him like a nerd.
Like
I think
awkward nerd.
I think also too we're kind of spoiled from the
Yeah.
show again, where like Barry's like
He
the
had
brains
9
and the bronze.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I mean, Cisco and them figure out a lot of stuff, but like he's really smart too. He helps them figure it
Yeah.
all out. And this one, Barry's just like this goofball who like we all know is smart, but he
Yeah.
never does anything that's smart, like actually do anything that's smart or like solve any problems.
I would have loved to see that. But question I want to ask you before we head out here, before we do our ratings as well. Do you think he'll be recasted? If yes, minus the TV actor, who should play Ezra Miller? Off the top of your head, I know.
Off the top of my head, that's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say.
Well, let's say, do you think they're gonna recast?
Yeah, 100% they're going to repass. They need Flash. They're doing anything just and people just like Flash. People don't like Ezra Miller either, so they're going to get a bunch of brownie points when they cast somebody else. They're going to be like, "Oh my god, you know what I mean? We're done with Ezra Miller. He was the worst." And people are going to love. So they're definitely going to recast him. Man, we had a list. Off the top of my head, I'd probably say that the kid from Maze Runner, I can't think of his name.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Some like him, but we'll see. But like, yeah, I think in the new movies, I hope they play like he wasn't really a smart ass in this one. He was like funny at times, but he's
Yeah.
just like a big dork.
Yeah, big dork.
And Flash is usually like a smart ass.
Yeah,
And like, you know what I mean? He's shy sometimes and things like that, but mostly just a smart ass.
yeah.
Not like a jerk or anything, but just like a little goofball.
He got
Like-
some good one-liners.
and this version of
very,
Barry was
very
just like
Spider-Man.
yeah, like dorky and
Yeah.
like not confident and just a big dork.
Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna recast. I assume they are. But James Gunn, I guess he has to like respond politically speaking. He's like, we're gonna see how he works out this and that. Like,
no, they're not.
so yeah.
Well, the way they ended it with George Clooney and all that makes
Yeah.
it seem like that universe is done or whatever.
Yeah.
Something he messed it up. They're not going to be doing
Yeah.
anything over there anymore.
You know what? Oh, go ahead.
That's all.
I was gonna say they need to cancel Aquaman. I don't know why we're gonna drop that. Like if that movie's still coming out.
It's and it's got even worse
Yeah.
than Ezra Miller. It's like got Amber Heard in it.
Yeah.
Like nobody going to see that damn
I'm not
movie
seeing that
unless
movie.
they're like gonna kill Amber Heard in the first act or something.
brutally.
Let Johnny Depp do it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. In a multiverse, you see Jack Sparrow,
Jack Sparrow.
with the Black Pearl.
Oh.
Hell yeah. But yeah, what would you rate this movie? We got a few minutes left here.
I gave it a 7.5.
Okay. Yeah.
I really liked it. I'm definitely going to see it again. There are things I didn't like about it. Just like any movie, it's not a perfect 10. But I think this movie
Besides
is getting
Cocaine Bear.
a lot of unwarranted hate because
Mm-hmm.
people are judging Ezra Miller like they're not complete pieces of garbage.
Like they're
themselves.
not. Yeah, they're acting all pure.
Yeah, like so, and so I don't know if feel bad's a word, but it sucks for everybody else who was involved in the movie and who need this movie to do good to make money. But I think the acting was good. I thought Ezra Miller did a great job playing both versions of himself. Obviously, Keaton stole the show. The girl who played Supergirl was pretty cool.
Yeah.
There really weren't any bad characters. The storyline was cool. They made a live action Flashpoint, which that wasn't that bad. There were some things I wish they would add into it, but for the most part, it was just the same thing, and it was I liked it.
I gave it a 7.2, so we're on pretty much on similar tracks. I already described what was underwhelming, but the story was not underwhelming, and that's the biggest part. We got it's a good rating, but the parts that fell flat weren't the story, which is the most important. You can have bad CGI like this movie did, or have some controversial characters, but if you have a really good story or a solid story, you can get away with a lot more than if you didn't. Also, fun fact, I found this. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but the same director is going to be directing Batman: Brave and the Bold. I don't know if James Gunn. I don't know if that was confirmed or not, but I believe it is.
Well, I thought this one, like I said, movie was very well directed. So
I'm very excited to see that. And like I said, when it comes on HBO, I'm gonna watch it. But yeah, that is it for this episode, guys. Before you head to this video, leave a like right now, subscribe down below. Comment what you guys thought of Flash, what we could talk about next time. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Links are on the screen and down below. Other than that, I'm Tom. This is Sean, and we'll see you guys next episode. Take care.